food labels when you go grocery shopping? Awesome. And how many of you that read the food labels know what you're looking for? Feel really strong and confident about that. Okay, well, I'm here today to share with you the good, the bad, and the ugly of food labels. For the good, we're going to talk about ingredients and things to look for that will help you be healthy. For the bad, we're going to talk about ingredients to stay away from. And for the ugly, we're going to talk about the marketing tactics that are being used. So here we go. Let's get started with the good. So on a food label, and I have presented you all with a sample food label so you can take a look at that. We're just going to highlight a few of the good things on there. And the first one I want to start with is fiber. Fiber is good for us because it helps us to feel full. It also helps balance our blood sugars as well as lowers cholesterol, prevents constipation. And as an adult, we need 25 grams of fiber a day. Average American gets about 7 to 14 grams a day. So we want to look on our food labels for fiber. Natural sources are fruits and vegetables and whole grains. So these are some areas where you can get your fiber. The second thing you want to look for on your food label is for the protein. Because protein, you're going to see a lot of similarities of the benefits of protein. It helps balance those blood sugars. It also helps you to feel full, as well as it burns more calories than when you eat the same amount of carbs. That's kind of surprising, isn't it? It's a natural antidepressant, so it can help you have better moods and children to have better behavior. Now, how much protein do we need? I'm going to do a little mental math with you. Take your weight, put that number in your head, you don't have to share it with anyone, divide by 2. The number that you get is the number of grams of protein that you need daily. So when you're looking at food labels, you want to look for protein and keep up with how much protein you're getting. Now, the other good thing about food labels, where I want you to direct your attention, is on the ingredient list. So when you're looking at food labels, you want to look for ingredients that you recognize, that you can pronounce, that are real foods, not chemicals. You also want to look for on your food labels to see that it has a short list. And a good indicator is 10 items or less on that list. And here's a little trick. The first ingredient listed on your food label is the greatest quantity of that in that package. So if your food label says sugar is the #1 ingredient, then that is what most of that product is. Now, let's talk about the bad. So, when we talk about the bad, I'm going to share with you just 3 things that I want to stick with you. These are 3 ingredients you want to avoid, always. We're going to start with high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup is developed out of corn. It is converted into a sweetener. This is not sugar. Sugar comes from sugar cane or from sugar beets. That's the natural source that you're looking for on your food label. The reason we have high fructose corn syrup is it is cheaper to make and it helps our items have a longer shelf life. So the benefit is for the corporation that's making the food. Now, what are some problems with high fructose corn syrup? We have a hormone that's activated called leptin, and that helps us to create fullness, so we know when to naturally stop eating. When we eat high fructose corn syrup, that hormone is not released, and so we tend to overeat. Have you ever noticed that people who drink Diet Cokes tend to be people that are overweight? It has created this problem where we're no longer knowing when we're full. The third ingredient to always stay away from are trans fats. These are also known as hydrogenated oils or partially hydrogenated oils. These are created chemically by introducing a hydrogen gas into the oils, which alters that ingredient. So our body doesn't know how to accept it. It wasn't the way it was created. It saves money for the food manufacturer, and it helps create a longer shelf life. But what are the problems with these trans fats? These trans fats raise cholesterol. They decrease our immunity. They create abdominal fat. They interfere with our nerve cell function, heart disease. Cancers are increased, especially colon cancer and type 2 diabetes. Now, the third ingredient we want to stay away from is artificial flavorings, sweetenings, and colorings. These are created for better flavor and appearance. These are called excitotoxins. And what that means is they alter the chemistry of our brain. I get pretty passionate about this one. These include aspartame. The problem is they don't have a nutritional value, but they're linked to Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and seizures. They also create headaches and mood swings. So you want to avoid these three things: high fructose corn syrup, trans fats, and artificial sweeteners, colorings, and flavorings. Now, the ugly truth about marketing is the front of the box oftentimes is very deceiving. Few quick tricks. If it's low sugar, it probably has an artificial sweetener. If it's low fat, then it's high in sugar. So those are just a few things you need to be aware of. So don't look at the front of the box. Look at the back of the box or the side of the box at the sheet that I've given you. Those are the things you want to look at. So, introspection. You've learned the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know that you really need to look at your food labels to avoid diseases that we talked about, like heart disease and cancer and Alzheimer's. And so I've only touched the surface of reading food labels. So if you want to know more, fill out the information form I have right there on your health interest, and I'll get back in touch with you.